Hi, I'm Alice Grange, and I am a emotional freedom techniques and matrix reimprinting coach and practitioner. I turn 62 next month, and I have decided it's time to shift some things up in my life. And here they are. One is I've changed my eating habits. I've enrolled in something called Bright Line Eating, which basically means I'm not eating any processed flour products. I'm not eating any sugar processed products. And I'm weighing my food and I'm planning my food in advance. Um, I've also entered into a video challenge. It's time that I got over my fear of doing videos. And thirdly, I'm personally enrolling myself in a self-care challenge. I have a long history of being codependent, of taking care of others before taking care of myself. Just last week, one of my clients told me how she had noticed that she was eating less and craving less after some work that we've done together, which is great. I'm delighted for her, but it's time for me to do the work for me. So what I've decided to do is for the month of May 2018, is to tap every day on myself using my own words and using the words of other people that I have read about, worked with, etc., having to do with weight retention and weight release. So having said that, if you don't know anything about emotional freedom techniques or tapping, I'd like to direct you to my website, which is tappingdetective.com. And when you go there, you will be given an opportunity to get a free book called the EFT Tapping Journal and Guide. And in that guide, you will find pretty much all you need to know about how to tap, as well as all the points that you can tap on, what those points mean, what parts of the body they relate to, what emotions they release or encourage, what meridian lines they're on, a lot of other information. So I encourage you to go there and take a look. Now, you don't have to do anything. And again, I encourage you to tap along with me. It doesn't matter if you're not exactly on the right spots. It just, because it's vibrational, it's about energy and vibration. So even if the spot's right here, if you're tapping up here, it's close enough. The other thing I wanted to say is something about a concept known as borrowing benefits. While I may be using words that resonate with you or don't resonate with you, I encourage you before you get started tapping along with me to set an intention of what it is that you want to work on, and then just mimic my words and see how you feel at the end. I also encourage you at the beginning of each tapping session to check in with yourself and notice how intense the feeling might be that you're experiencing. And then at the end, notice if there's been any shifts. So having said that, let's start with what's one of my biggest fears, and I have reason for that fear, which is fear of sabotage, fear of self-sabotage. I also encourage you to have a glass of water, take a sip, because water helps this process. So let's begin. How concerned are you if you are on a weight loss, weight reduction, weight release, healthier body program, that you will sabotage yourself? Make note of a number between 0 and 10. 0 is no problem, I've got this, I'm good. 10 is I've sabotaged myself every other single time. So of course I'm going to sabotage myself. Just make note of that. You can either write it down or you can just keep note of it in your mind, and then close your eyes and take a breath. And notice if you feel that fear of sabotage anywhere in particular in your body. And if you do, just notice that. Perhaps it's in your belly. Perhaps it's in your heart. Perhaps it's in your groin. And just notice. And then take another breath. And notice if there are any qualities of that feeling of that fear of sabotage in whatever body part or parts you've identified. Is it hot or cold? Does it feel rough or slimy? Is it big or small? Is it like a ball or a triangle or a big blob or a little blob? Just notice. Sometimes it'll be cloudy, sometimes it'll be hard, sometimes it'll be sharp, sometimes it'll be prickly. Doesn't matter, just notice. Okay, so having said that, let's start to tap. First place we start to tap is on the side of the hand. Just doesn't matter. I'm right-handed, so I do it on my left hand, but you can do it either way, doesn't matter. Just underneath the baby finger on the fleshy part. And I'm going to encourage you to repeat after me. Even though I'm afraid that I will sabotage myself again. And then you repeat. Even though I'm afraid that I will sabotage myself again, I love and accept myself. I love and accept myself. And if you have trouble saying I love and accept myself, which lots of us do, I encourage you to say something like, I'm open to the possibility. I'm open to the possibility that someday soon, I'll be able to love and accept myself. And then take a breath. And then we'll do that 2 more times. Even though I'm afraid that I will sabotage this effort to lose weight. Even though I'm afraid I'll sabotage this effort to lose weight. I love and forgive myself. I love and forgive myself. And take another breath. Even though I'm afraid that once again I will sabotage my efforts to get healthy. Even though, once again, I'm afraid that I will sabotage my efforts to get healthy. I choose to be open to the possibility. I choose to be open to the possibility that I can do this, that I can do this, that I deserve to do this, that I deserve to do this. And take another breath. And take another sip of water. Now we're going to do a round of tapping. Some of the points that I use are not used in traditional EFT and or used to be used in traditional EFT but aren't anymore. Don't worry about it. Just tap along as closely as you can. So at the top of the head, where there's that little flat spot on your head, just tap gently. You don't have to hit yourself, just gently. All this fear of sabotage. All this fear of sabotage. And then go to the third eye, just above the eyebrows. This fear of sabotage, this fear of sabotage that I feel in every cell of my body, that I feel in every cell of my body. And then just above the nose, near the eyebrows. You can do one side, the other side, or both sides. You can do it like this as well. All this fear of sabotage. And then the corners of the eyes, right in there. This familiar fear of sabotage. This familiar fear of sabotage. I'm afraid I'm going to do it to myself again. I'm afraid I'm going to do it to myself again. So many times I've made promises to myself. So many times I've made promises to myself. Chin point. I get mad when other people break their promises to me. I get mad when other people break their promises to me. And then this is just below the collarbones. And I often break promises I make to myself. And I often have broken promises I make to myself. Then just on the breastbone. All this self-sabotage, all this self-sabotage. And then just underneath your nipples, where if you're a woman, just below where your breasts meet your rib cage, or in men about 3 inches or so below your nipples. Just rub gently instead of tapping there. All this self-sabotage, all this self-sabotage. And then what I'd like you to do is just tap underneath your armpits. If you wear a bra, it's kind of on the line where your bra strap would be, or in line with your nipples. You can do both sides. If you've got longer arms, you can do both sides. You can do it like this, if you're, whatever you like. All this familiar self-sabotage. All this familiar self-sabotage. And then take a breath and just tap your wrist together. You can do it like this, or you can do it like this. I'm so tired of sabotaging myself. I am so tired of sabotaging myself. And then just behind the ears, and just tap, tracing the ear from the top down to the earlobe. I'm willing to let these patterns of sabotage go. I'm willing to let these patterns of self-sabotage go. Now take a breath and just check in with yourself. What number is your fear of sabotage now? Has it changed? If it has, yay. If it hasn't, let's keep tapping. I suggest that you replay this tape and try it again. Often if things don't shift, it's because we're not quite specific enough about what it is that you're feeling. So identify what you're feeling and then tap again. All this sabotage, this familiar sabotage, I've done it to myself again, all this fear that it's hopeless, this fear that nothing will change, this fear that I'll still be lonely, this fear that I won't have any more excuses for not being successful, whatever it is that you're feeling fear about. And stay tuned. There will be more tapping coming every day this month. Again, if you want some information about how to tap, you can go to my website and download the tapping journal and guide, or go to my resources page where there's access to a lot more information about tapping. And I look forward to tapping with you again tomorrow. Thanks very much. Again, Alice Grange. If you want to reach me, if you have any questions or comments, please put them below, or you can email me at alice@tappingdetective.com. Have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for joining me in this healing journey.